Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me better?
That's better.
That's good. It might be my computer connection, but welcome, everybody. This is the Maximum One Greater Atlanta Douglasville sales meeting, and it is August 20th. And we are so excited that you are here. So I'm going to pass it over to Brent, and then I will be more than happy to speak a little bit later on throughout the meeting. Take it away, Brent.
Okay, there's only a few things that I wanted to say was that, about the closing of the Douglasville office, that we have a lot of agents that don't even work from the office, which, you can do everything remote. And I was just going to remind everybody about the bank shot and to be able to deposit checks remotely, and also the remote deposit from Chase. And both of those can be found at the paperless pipeline under the reference section in finances for bank shot and remote deposit. And also I was going to tell you, there's also, a couple of apps, which is good. This really don't have anything to do with remote, but the Smarter Agent and VoicePad, those are two good apps. And both of those are under the same reference tab in paperless pipeline under technology. And I also want to say about Remind, y'all may want to start looking at some of the virtual videos on the FMLS, because they're going to be doing away with the RDocs, and they do have some webinars and training under their knowledge base, and also under their classes, that's virtual classes to learn Remind, which I think is probably best to go ahead and start getting yourself familiar with that, because that's going to take over, and it looked pretty good. I looked at it the other day. It looks like it'd be pretty nice. But that was about it. Other than, the main thing would be the bank shot and remote deposit. We do have a Chase bank up here in Douglasville, which would make it real simple and easy to drop off a deposit. So that's all I had to say, Dana. I don't know if Kevin's got something wants to talk about.
I'm okay right now. I'm trying to I'm good.
Okay. Dana can't hear a word you're saying. I think Dana's having technical difficulties.
She's muted
with the audio. Yeah, she's muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yay. Okay. All right. So I have a couple things. First of all, Remind docs. You guys need to learn them. You need to learn them because RDocs is going away October. So RDocs is still they're not going to get rid of your tiles, but you're not going to be able to create new transaction in RDocs. You need to go to Remind docs. It's a little like a change with everything. It's a little bit interesting to learn at first, but I think you guys will love it. It has more capabilities than RDocs. I posted a video. If you go to my YouTube channel, Real Estate Made Crystal Clear, I did a video walking you through step by step how to do it, because I took the Remind class from FMLS back in February, and I just took all my notes and walked you through doing it. So please, like Brent said, FMLS has online classes, feel free to watch my video. Start doing it now so that if you can't figure it out, you still have RDocs to fall back on. But start playing with it now, because it's RDocs is going away. The other thing is Zillow especially for you listing agents, Zillow is unveiling a new thing in the Atlanta market. And what it is it's called Zillow 3D and floor plans. Very imaginative name. Do you guys, for some of y'all that have been with us for a long time, we had a company that was one of our vendors called Planomatic. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really cool. So we know for new construction, you always get a floor plan with new construction homes, but you don't always get a floor plan with resale homes. So Zillow has hooked up with, and I forgot the name of the photo company, but a photo company to do those 3-dimensional walkthroughs, and I forgot the fancy name for that. I can't think of what it's called, but you do for you listing agents, especially with your resale homes. They have a package, and you can do, it includes 30 pictures, the 3D walkthrough, and a floor plan. They'll create a floor plan for your resale listings, and you get 30 photos, $160 for that package. There is a live interactive Zoom meeting on it next Monday, and the link is in the online calendar. The meeting is only like 20 minutes, and it is next, hold on, I'm looking for it. The meeting is next Tuesday, the 25th at 9:30 a.m. So for you listing agents, that's a fabulous thing. That pricing is protected through September. He said most likely through the end of the year. If you already have photos and just want additional 3D floor planning stuff, it's only $50. So that's just a really cool thing. And again, you guys, the Zillow people that I talk to are not the iBuyer people. They are the broker agent support people. But again, for listing agents, that 3D walkthrough and the floor plan would just be a cool additional tool to really make your listings stand out. Obviously, we're in a really fast market right now, but it's also a great seller tool to be able to provide, to get additional referral business. So I wanted to talk about that. Something else. CE classes, our CE classes are going to be virtual, definitely through October, most likely through the end of the year. The links are on our calendar. Please take advantage of this. We are not sure what Greg is going to do after the first of the year regarding the approval of, because all of these courses have been approved for in-classroom classes. So we're not sure what Greg's going to do with the approval for the virtual transmission of them. So please take advantage of them. There's a lot of great courses out there that a lot of agents aren't able to take when they're in branches because of geographic limitations. Also, Showcase, FMLS Showcase is going to be virtual this year. That's the big FMLS trade show that they always have at the Galleria every year. Virtual on the 27th from 9:30 till 7. If you log on to FMLS, you'll see all of the keynote speakers and all of that stuff there. The GAR, Georgia Association of Realtors Convention, is going to be virtual this year. I've got the link on the newsletter. You guys, please make sure to read the newsletter this week at Maximum One. We share a lot of information, not only what's going on with Maximum One, but generally speaking, what's going on in our marketplace and in our industry. That's the way, that is the vehicle through which we communicate. We do stuff on Rockstars too, but for greater Atlanta specific stuff, the main way we communicate with you guys is through that Sunday email that comes out through Constant Contact called This Week at Maximum One, as well as having all the contract tip videos.
Videos are great.
Thank you. Also, I want to let you know that I am doing my best to record as many CE classes that we're teaching virtually as I can. So you can't watch it without being proctored for CE. You can't just go on the site and watch it, but it is a fabulous resource for you guys for the information. So if you have a question, it's not only the contracts classes that I teach, but Amy Davis, who is the affiliated closing attorney with West Cobb, she taught a class on effective negotiating yesterday. Amazing information. She taught a class on titles back a few months ago. Great information. So we've got a lot of those classes that, again, we would not otherwise have access to. So the information is fabulous. You can find those as well as whatever handouts. If the instructor provided handouts, the handouts are available. If you go to www.eagentweb.com, like you guys know how to do, and then you click on the tab that says training videos and scroll through. And let me do this. Let me share my screen and just walk you guys through that for a minute. So all you do, can you guys all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So all you do is you are going to go to www.eagentweb.com. And you know, this is I don't know if you know or not, but this is designed to be a home base for you. So you have access to paperless pipeline here, extranet. This is the training calendar. We have a live chat. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. That's monitored Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Training videos, the blog. This is a direct link to FMLS, Georgia MLS, the support email, Agent on Duty. We don't have anymore. Bridge Interactive. Actually, that link doesn't work. This is where you can get to our vendors. Anyway, if you just click on these tiles, it will take you directly to that link. But for the purposes of what I am talking about right now, if you click here, see where it says training videos? You click there, and it will take you to this page. If you scroll down, you will see a ton of videos. So here is get familiar with USDA guaranteed loans. Oop, I got to put the video link up. So there'll be a link there. And then here is a PDF of the slides. Here's the ethics course if you want information on that. Here is the RE contract forms dissection class. There's a link to the video recording of that class. And here are all the handouts. When you click on these handouts, you will see where I have stuff underlined. For example, let me click on this and I'll show you the resources that you have. You have all my notes that I use to teach these classes with the contract forms underlined for things to bring to your attention. So, oops, not only do you have, I sound like, buy now and you'll get 2 for 1, times limited. Not only do you have the video, the CE classes, there's FHA Financing 101, training the new agent mentor, license mortgage 101. But if you keep scrolling down, you will see we've got other information that is just designed to help you guys when you need it and can't necessarily get somebody. Here's how information about the Smarter Agent app. Here are all the tutorials on paperless pipeline. Here are all the tutorials on Chime. Here are working with buyers, buyer contract negotiating skills. These are all videos and handouts for you guys. So working with buyers, lead generation tips.
Are you logged in, Papa?
That must be Martha. So anyway, I'm going to stop sharing.
Jared, log in, baby.
Isabel, I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a ton of resources there. And let me go back and share my screen again. One more place for resources for you is if you go to Paperless Pipeline and log into Paperless Pipeline. If you click on the reference tab, it's going to make me log in again. If you click up here where it says reference, can you guys see that? Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger. Click here where it says reference. You have a ton, this is our digital library. So there is a ton of information here too. There are admin assistant forms there, BPO permission letters there, business planning documentation there. Here are contract tips. These are the COVID-19 special steps and forms. Here is the declarations for our E&O insurance. And actually we just renewed for 2021. Here it is. I'll get rid of all the other ones. It's right there. If any of you guys need that for any of your, sometimes you need that if you're working with like a reload company or something along those lines. Here are FMLS forms. There's the 116, 117, 118, agent owner letter, the compulsory map. Here are the HUD broker permission letters. If you go down here to financial forms. Here are the W-9s that were just updated. So there's a ton of information here. If you know you're looking for something but have no idea how my mind thinks and where I would have put it in the reference section, or Dawn or Kim's mind thinks, this search tool is fabulous. So again, I'm in the reference section. I'm under the search key. You click on search, and when you're searching, the less information, the better. So you know you need a W-9. If you just type in W-9 and click search docs, it will take you directly to the W-9 forms for MXGA and MXGR without having to worry about what label it's under. And then you just click on that, and it's the W-9 that you can then download to your computer. So just some great resources for you guys that we have online. I just wanted to either point those out if you were not aware of them, or remind you if you are aware of them. So I'm trying to think what else. Okay, well, obviously the big elephant in the room, so to speak. So we are so excited, and we want you guys to join in our excitement. Dave Kubat, the owner of Maximum One, is buying land and going to build a huge mega Maximum One office. If any of you guys have been by the Powers Ferry office, has anybody not been by the Powers Ferry office? I've got everybody muted now, but well, if you have been by the Powers Ferry office, you will get a glimpse of the really upscale, modern, cool looking building it is. It actually looks like a hotel lobby. It does not look like a what you generally would think of as a real estate office. So this office is going to be huge. There's going to be tons of parking. There's going to be outdoor seating. There's going to be an outdoor grill. It's all going to be on one level. There's going to be a reception area. There's going to be conference rooms. There's going to be a wing for single agent offices, a wing for two agent offices, a wing for teams. There's going to be like a bullpen for agents who just want to come in and work, but have a little bit more privacy than we have in the workrooms right now. There's going to be a workroom, the kitchen, huge training room that we can divide off and section off. So we're really, really excited about that. And what we're doing is we are combining Douglasville, Paulding, and West Cobb into this one office. The location of it is next to the Paulding Wellstar Hospital on not 278, but on the other cross highway. It is approximately 20 minutes from the Douglasville office where you guys are now. So it's a little bit farther for the Douglasville office than obviously the Paulding office. The West Cobb office, it's about 10 minutes away from there. In the meantime, we are going to close down operations at the Douglasville office and at the West Cobb office until the new building is built. And so the existing Paulding office will be the current physical location for agents from all three of those offices to, if you need to come to an office. That office is on Highway 278, next to, it's in the Highland Pavilion Shopping Center. And if you've been in that part of Hiram, you'll see the easiest thing to see from the road is there's a big animal hospital, and it's called Animal Ark, or the Ark, and it's an animal hospital. That's right there. We have made, Bill Caruth, thank you. We have made as many of our systems virtual as possible for you guys. We've got BankShot, and if you guys aren't familiar with that, I believe there's a training video on that. If not, I'll be sure to share that. BankShot is where you can do banking with us from your phone. You can make deposits, not only depositing your earnest money, but you can also deposit your commission checks or the Maximum One portion of your check if you get a DA. We also have remote deposit, like Brent mentioned at the beginning, where you go to any Chase bank, the instructions for remote deposit are on that reference section of Pipeline. Basically, it tells you how to endorse the check. We need a copy of it, and you need to let the compliance broker know through communicating through your transaction in Pipeline. We can pay you by pay at close or pay you by direct deposit if you do a traditional close. The one piece that we are going to create or get it virtual for you guys is the earnest money pickup for your DA closings. So what we are going to do there is we are going to, if you put in your DA request a little bit earlier, and some of you guys are putting them in early, we're just not processing them necessarily when you first put them in, but we are going to process them early. So if you guys have them in at least 7 business days prior to your closing, and we're still working with some closing attorneys to check on this timing, but right now we are going to mail the earnest money check directly to your closing attorney. There is also the option for us to wire the earnest money to your closing attorney. There's a fee right now from the banks that we're passing through. We are in the process of looking for another bank, not to change all of our banking, but just for the wires to eliminate those outgoing wire fees to even make that easier for you guys. So we are working on that. If you do need an office, Fran, the closest one is going to be that Paulding office. And again, if you go, there's probably a way to get right to that highway, but the way I go from Douglasville office, if you come out and go basically take a left on, is it Chapel Hill or Douglas Boulevard? What's the one that goes by QT? Which, somebody unmute yourselves.
Chapel Hill.
Okay, so thank you, Shawn. So if you take a left and go all the way up Chapel Hill Boulevard, you're going to pass that school on your left. You're going to go through downtown Douglasville. You're going to cross over the railroad tracks. You keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That is going to, it doesn't really dead end, but that is going to hit at a T intersection with Highway 278. If you take a right by Walmart, if you take a left on Highway 278 and go maybe half a mile at the most, that office, the Paulding office of Maximum One is on your left right there. And again, it is approximately 20 minutes. So Fran, that would be the closest office. Why the closure? The closure is because we're building the new mega office. So we are closing West Cobb and Douglasville September 30th. But again, we have everything. Also, we're not having a lot of agents come into either one of those offices right now. A lot of that has to do with what's going on with COVID-19. But generally speaking, now seems to be the best time to work into phase 1 of the new mega office. Also, along with phase 1, we are having, you guys all have your key fob. You've got 24/7 access to the branches, but Heidi is going to be there Monday through Friday, 9 till 2, as we sort of phase into this. You guys all have access for help through the support email, through me, through your compliance brokers, through Rockstars. So we've got, we're trying to do everything we can to make this transition as effortless as possible for everyone. So then the question comes up, and this question came up at West Cobb too. Well, what about having a Douglasville presence? Well, you guys, y'all have a gazillion yard signs on your for sale houses out there. We absolutely have an amazing Douglasville presence. We absolutely have an amazing West Cobb presence. We don't get walk-in business at that office. We don't get walk-in business at the West Cobb office. So when everybody is saying having a Douglasville presence or a West Cobb presence, the presence is absolutely there with the signs. I've heard a couple of people say, well, what about meeting buyers in the office? What about meeting buyers in the office? We're not having a lot of y'all meeting buyers in the offices. If you are one, I love that and appreciate that, but that has not been our experience in the offices. So,
Dana, can I interrupt for one? Dana.
yeah.
Hear me? May I interrupt for 1 moment? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Shawn.
Just throwing it out there. We do have 2 conference rooms at my office. Rarely are both booked. If any agents in the Douglasville area need an office to meet with a client at, and it's convenient to come to my office, as long as you schedule it with me ahead of time, I'll be happy to make the space available to you as a courtesy.
Amazing. Amazing. That's awesome. Cool, cool. So there you go, everybody. So again, we're just really excited. Change is always uncomfortable for anyone and everyone, regardless of what it is. I will be more, what are the thoughts as far as projected build occupancy time? Thanks, Kim. Welcome. My understanding is Dave is designing it and building it and going, I believe he's going to be the general contractor on it. My understanding is spring. So again, you guys, for any of you who have had any kind of experience with new construction, you know that the best laid plans of mice and men, you can finish that. It totally depends on the weather, the supplies of materials, which if any of you all have ordered anything online, you know that the delivery times are way delayed. Also, as we are hitting a lot of weather and hurricanes and things like that, you guys know also wood products, drywall, plywood, things like that can sometimes become limited during this hurricane season. And also, as you guys all know, we still have to deal with county zoning ordinances and certificates and things like that. So the goal is definitely by early spring. But I'm not hanging my hat on that because there's a variety of factors over which we have no control. I'm looking through. So, any questions that I can answer? Shawn, thank you so much. That is just an amazing offer, and I appreciate that. Any questions that I can answer on that right now? Okay. What we are, another thing that I want to bring up, and then Shawn, I want to throw it to you, is September, we want to have a blowout celebration, wonderful party for you guys in the parking lot. Party in the parking lot. Now that was party in the ladies' room. That shows you my age. If you don't know that song, that shows you my age. But so Shawn has graciously offered to participate, and we can absolutely help. Shawn offered for an ice cream social, but I think we want to have a huge luncheon, all that kind of stuff. So, we had one, the Paulding meeting had one this Tuesday. The Woodstock branch is having one next month, and I'm not sure what West Cobb is doing. But I think it would be great for everybody to see each other. We are going to have it in the parking lot. I know there are some, well, I'm just going to say, if you have a concern and feel uncomfortable, please make sure to take care of your own concerns and your own comfort level and your own health first. But I want to throw that out and make that available to everyone. So I am excited about that. We will get with Shawn, Brent, Kim, Kevin, and Heidi to come up with a date. If we want to keep it on that same date, or maybe make it one of the other days in the week. So, Shawn, you want to chime in on that? Well,
definitely. Well, their mask. Well, I'm all about a big festivity, but I'm still having my ice cream. So I'm still going to be bringing ice cream to the event. But having said that, sounds like a great plan, and I'll be happy to get with you guys whoever's going to be planning on that committee to coordinate food and assist with that as well. So yes, very much excited about having that and having a final blowout for the Douglasville office. Are you through, Dana? Am I supposed to start now, or?
Yeah, unless anybody has any questions, and there might be some questions percolating, feel free to email me, email Dave, email Heidi, and she'll be able to answer, or she'll get the questions to Dave or myself. I just hope you guys join in excitement. And for those of you who were with other brokerages before Maximum One, depending on the brokerage with whom you were with, I have been with several large, not several, that sounds horrible, but I've been with a few large brokerages prior to Maximum One. And we just meld and morph, and you guys know that activity breeds activity, synergy breeds synergy, production breeds production. And I think the support, once everybody actually is back meeting in person again, which I hope will be sooner rather than later, but definitely in the spring, at least I'm hoping. You guys, we just have some other plans for some amazing activities where everybody can meet more Maximum One agents. Everyone can learn from everyone. Everyone can learn different strategies of what you're doing and what everybody is doing and share. And I think everyone's excitement level will increase. Everyone's production will increase. We're just really, really looking forward to a lot of that. Heidi just put Monday is the best day for the blowout because the salon next door is closed. So we'll look at that. We'll look at the calendar and take it away, Shawn.
You have an uncanny way of finishing up just as I'm exiting my vehicle to go into my office. I had to make a errand at the store this morning, so I apologize. But that being said, I'm very much excited about the new venture with the Douglasville office closing and the mega office being built. I think timing-wise, Dave, and you could not have chosen a better time to do this. Being that we're virtual anyhow, I think it's just a great timing. People are not coming into the offices these days right now, so what better time to get the plans put into place to go ahead and get a new office set up over there. So timing-wise, I think that's great. If you guys are having difficulty seeing me, I apologize. I'm walking into through a hallway to get to my office. But that all being said, very much looking forward to seeing the plans for the new office and obviously moving in there in a few months from now when it's constructed. It's from you told me, Danny, you said next spring, so we're looking at less than a year. Is that correct? Didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yes, just a few months.
Okay, that's great. And forgive me, I'm literally trying to get my door open right now with my key to get in. So that being said, definitely looking forward to having the luncheon next month. And again, let me know what I can do to help there. I had a few things I wanted to talk to you all about today. So I'm walking into my office right now. So timing wise, I can sit down now and talk for a minute. All right. Anyhow, a couple things I wanted to mention. First, very excited to report that we have a new closer that started this week, April Hunt. April used to work with Jeff Bauer's law firm as their closer. So if you have ever worked with Jeff Bauer's before, you probably may know April, but really good, vibrant blood in her. Don't hold it against her like me. She has a little bit of Yankee blood in her, but still she's very Southernized. She's been here for quite some time. That being said, please reach out to April, Susan, Megan, Christy, whoever you need to in the office, and we'll make sure we get taken care of. But thankfully, we're staying steady and getting a little busier. And we decided to go ahead and bring another closer on board with us to make sure we have great support for our agents. The offer I made earlier, if you guys need a space to come, just coordinate it. We can set up quite easily, and it really will not be an issue. Closings in my office typically happen in the afternoon, so especially if you've got morning meetings, really should not be a major issue for us to reserve a conference room for you guys to meet with your clients for an hour if you need to do that. So please reach out to me if I can help there. And of course, if there's any issues involving closings, contracts, or otherwise, you can email me or call me at any time. The one thing I did want to bring up regarding new trends I'm seeing, first new trend is, unfortunately, our title work, and I think closing firms across the boards are seeing this occur, but our title work is really delayed getting back to us from the title company these days because of COVID. Right now, the courthouses are limiting the number of examiners that are able to go into the courthouse to be able to examine the titles and do the research they need to do. So as a result, instead of getting rush titles back in a day or two like we used to, or normal titles back in a few 3 to 4 days, we're looking at rush titles in a week and normal turnaround time at 7 to 10 days minimum. So just making you all aware when you get your deal sent over, if you have a rush need, please make sure we're aware of it immediately. And well, I'm not encouraging you to do this, but if you want to make sure things stay timely, you might want to put on their rush title, just because even our rushes are taking a week to get back to us, it seems sometimes. That all being said, I've been able to get through GSCCCA to do limited searches to at least get title binders over to lender so they don't have to wait on that end. So in the event that you have one that needs to be over quickly, reach out to me directly and let me know, and I can try to check the title down if I'm able to, assuming the records go back, and I can check what I need to check on there and try to get a binder over to the lender so we keep things on schedule on that side while waiting for the full report to come back to us. The other matter I wanted to bring up to you is with respect to titles. This just came up, and I had not seen this ever in 24 years of practicing now. But that being said, we have an agent actually at Maximum One who's in the process of attempting to do a refinance, and I'm about to reach out to that agent right now to inform bad news. The agent's not on the call, at least last time I checked, she was not. But what we have going on here is an attempt to refinance property that was purchased by the seller to our agent. The seller purchased the property at tax sale. When you see a tax sale property, that is a huge, huge, huge red flag. You want to make certain that the seller of the property, before it is conveyed, has had a quiet title action completed after the foreclosure of the right to redeem has occurred. 2 steps. You just can't foreclose on the right to redeem in a tax sale. You have to wait that 1 year period after the tax sale occurs to foreclose on the right to redeem. But then at that point, you then have to go through a quiet title action to perfect title and clear title into the new owner's name. If you don't do that, most title insurance companies, including First American and Stewart, who we write for, will tell you that they will not be able to insure the transaction. I have no idea how the other law firm, that is a reputable firm, was able to close on a purchase for this agent and give her a purchase money security deed with an exception on the title policy to all matters involving the tax sale. So that policy basically provides no protection whatsoever to the tax sale matter. If that lender that was originally taken out the loan with had been made aware of that or realized that, I'm sure they would not have let that transaction go through. But we're now in a position that we cannot get any title company to insure a refinance, not even a purchase and sale, just a simple refi, on the grounds that the tax sale never went through a quiet title action after the conveyance. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this, is the fact that oftentimes you're going to find that showstoppers occur that you had no clue would even be out there. If you have a client going through closing, please make sure you always verify with the closing attorney that that title insurance policy provides no exceptions that would render the title unmarketable or uninsurable. At any rate, I'm not sure if Dana is still with us. It looks like I've just got a photo of her, and hopefully she is still with us. But that all being said, wanted to make you aware of that pitfall that's coming up and be looking out for that. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Of course, I'm always available via email or call if you need me, and look forward to the fall
Shawn.
coming up. Yes.
Shawn, please explain a little bit more fully about if an investor buys a property at a tax sale, the fact that the original owner has that time frame to redeem it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to. I kind of blew over that just to get the point across that you have to be just careful when you're dealing with tax sales in general. If you hear that there's one title, to be watching out, or when closing, always verify with your clients the title is free and clear of any exceptions that could render your market or your title unmarketable or uninsurable. But getting back to what Dana was bringing up, in a tax sale, if the taxes on property remain unpaid, the tax commissioner has the authority to sell the property at the courthouse steps on the first Tuesday of the month, like any other foreclosure sale. And unlike a foreclosure sale, which will divest the prior owner of title completely, a tax sale foreclosure does not. The tax sale only vests what we call a defeasible title into the new purchaser, subject to the right of redemption of the prior owner of the taxpayer that did not pay the taxes. When this occurs, if a tax sale should occur, title companies, in order to insure over a subsequent conveyance, will require that the owner or purchaser of the tax sale go through a foreclosure of the redemption rights of the owner. That cannot be done for at least 1 year following the filing of the tax deed. And I said the filing, not the date of the tax deed, the filing of the tax deed.
So, okay, so let's say I'm an agent, I'm working with an investor, or the investor buys a house during a tax sale. The investor fixes up the house or does whatever, turns around and sells it. Can that investor sell it? What happens? Does the investor have to sit on it for a year, rent it? What's going on?
Remember, you can always sell what you have, but you can only sell what you do have. So when that investor bought that property at the tax sale, what that investor purchased was a defeasible deed. He purchased title with a right of redemption by the prior owner. So he did not have what we call fee simple title to the property in his name. Unfortunately, in order to get fee simple title in his name, the two things that have to occur, which I already alluded to, are the, sorry, an incoming call. I lost you for a minute. We have to refer to the foreclosure of the right of redemption, which cannot happen for a period of 1 year following the filing of the tax deed. So if the investor buys a property at tax sale, for example, the first Tuesday in September, September 1, he has to wait until 1 year following the filing of that tax deed before he can even foreclose on the right to redeem. That is done by simple filing of documents and providing notices to parties. Upon filing, the right to redeem expiration, when the date occurs, the right to redeem is expired forever from the prior owner. However, because of the fact that the title companies have concerns that the prior owner may take formal legal action or do other acts to attempt to get the property back even after the foreclosure, the right to redeem, the quiet title action is required by the title company to perfect title into the new owner's name. That is an in rem or a judicial proceeding that requires you go to court for. A special master is typically appointed by the court. It is not an open and shut, easy, 1, 2, 3 thing. It usually runs about 2 or 3 months time to get that accomplished. Assuming there's no objections, it does go through, but there is a lot of paperwork that needs to be completed and filed. And typically attorneys will charge between $2,000 and $5,000 or more to complete a quiet title action. So keep that in mind when you're guiding your investor clients, in particular, if they're looking at buying a tax sale or they've already purchased a tax sale and looking to sell the property. You have to be wary of a few things. One, there are going to be some fees involved with going ahead and getting title perfected into the new owner's name. And two, the new owner has to wait that 1 year following the filing of the tax deed that he purchased before he can even foreclose on the right to redeem. And then after that is done, the quiet title would really be required in order to get the title companies to insure the transaction. So again, has not come up on a title policy exception that I've seen before. And for that reason, I want you to, there are now firms apparently willing to close without a quiet title, which was not done in this situation, that would render title, unfortunately, uninsurable by a subsequent, closing. And in this situation, we have a refinance that the title insurance company is saying, no, we will not insure. That exception was out there from when they bought the property. So in that situation, you got to be really careful.
Shawn, also, just while we're on here, because if you'll talk a little bit about what's involved with a buyer suing a seller on specific performance. Because as you guys know, if you've taken our classes, you know that at least in the GAR forms and in the RE forms, if the parties are binding on a different form, I don't know what the remedy is per that contract, but per those two contracts, the remedy for a buyer of a seller default is either they terminate, get their earnest money back and go on their merry way, or they can sue the seller for what's called specific performance. So the question comes up, oh my gosh, what happens if the seller sells to someone else? How could they get awarded specific performance? So if you are representing a buyer where a seller has defaulted and the buyer does want to pursue specific performance, the first thing you need to do, and Shawn, correct me if I'm wrong, is you need to file an injunction against that seller from selling the house to someone else. So if you could talk a little bit through that process and the timing with the courts right now also, that'd be awesome.
Sure, absolutely. Well, to follow up on what Dana was saying, with regard to buyer and seller involvement in a contract that unfortunately gets defaulted upon by the seller, in that situation, by the buyer, the seller's remedy in that situation is to either accept the earnest money as full liquidated damages, in which case they're done. So if the seller agrees to go ahead and take the earnest money tendered by the buyer and accept those funds, at that point, the deal is done, the parties are released from each other, and there's no contract and no further obligations on either side.
in the event the seller says, no, I'm not agreeable to that, I want to pursue legal remedies, then of course the seller should first and foremost not accept return of the earnest money, and whoever the holder is, make the holder of the earnest money aware that that I'm not accepting return of the earnest money, as I intend to pursue legal actions. At that point, it would be wise for there to be a paper trail to show that the agent has been made aware of this information in writing, as well as been requested to notify the buyer of the agent's or of the seller's intent to pursue litigation or formal legal action in the matter. That way they're on quote unquote notice. And if you can provide that in writing, not text, but email or other writing, that would be ideal. The next step, once that has been done, is to have your seller contact an attorney immediately. And the attorney is going to want to do two things. Dana indicated filing an injunction. You can file a petition in court to attempt to have the, sale placed on hold. More commonly, you're going to see what's called a lease pendens filing. It's a filing by the plaintiff's attorney, which in this case would be the seller's attorney, basically making on record and providing notice to the world of the pending action to be filed in court. So with the lease pendens filing, I believe you have 30 days. Don't quote me on that, but I believe you've got 30 days to file your action after that. So immediately the seller will want to have his attorney file a lease pendens to basically make the world aware that this property is about to go through litigation. With a lease pendens of record, no closing attorney worth their grain of salt at least will close on that, because no title insurance company will allow them to close on it. So that being said, that's really the first step you want to have done if, God forbid, you find a defaulted contract and a seller that wants to pursue legal remedies in court.
Shawn,
Of course, filing a lease pendens just gets the ball rolling. And I'm sorry. Sorry, I thought Brent said something. But having said that,
I was going to say, I think Dana was talking about if the seller defaulted and the buyer wanted to sue the seller for specific performance.
did I have that backwards, Dana? I can address both in the scenario we're talking about. Having said that, if the buyer defaults in the opposite scenario, of course, in that situation, you're saying in the event that the buyer defaults, correct, Brent?
No, you had it right, Shawn. If the seller defaults, the buyer,
Okay.
the seller can't sue the buyer for specific performance, just the buyer suing the seller.
That's what. Hold on.
So let me ask you, how, as an agent, if let's say there's a house, it was under contract, it fell out, I've got a buyer, I want to buy the house. How do we, as the lay public agents helping our buyers, know that there is a lease pendens filed against that house, or with the seller, or a listing agent? How do we know?
Right. Well, you should be getting notification. Your client should be getting served notification of the matter. So hopefully your client would make you aware of it. But above all, before it goes to closing, it would be discovered on record. So the title examination would reveal that of record. But aside from that, the party who's being served the lease pendens would be notified of the pending action, and of course should notify his or her agent of that matter, stop the matter from going through. But if the individual doesn't, it's going to get caught before closing anyhow at the closing attorney's office when they run the title.
So just generally speaking, if it's always best to try. So now going on a little bit further, let's say there's a lease pendens filed against the house, and that's what I wanted to get across is that house, the seller can't, before your sellers are defaulting in favor of another contract, if they get sued for specific performance, that halts the sale, the opportunity for them to sell it to someone else for, and who knows how long the courts are back ordered right now, but delayed right now. But the other thing is, it doesn't mean the buyer gets it for free. The buyer still has to go through part of the specific performance cases. The buyer still has to be ready, willing, and able, and have the means financially to perform on the contract. It just means the seller has to sell. It's not financial. It means the seller has to sign over title, has to perform on that contract and sign over title to that buyer. Correct. And in the scenario where you have a action, you brought up a great point. You can pursue specific performance if your client wants to, but a lot of times it might be better for
you as the agent to coach your client, especially if you've got backup offers, you're going down the wrong avenue. If you got a backup offer that looks solid and good, go ahead and take the backup offer, keep the earnest money, and be done with the darn thing. A lot of times your client wanting to pursue remedies or, you know, other positions based on taking a certain stance or just, you know, believing this is wrong. Well, they might be right in principle. On the other hand, they might end up losing more money and time than they want to. It might just be easier just to go to the next deal, keep the earnest money, and move on your way. So just keep that in mind if you've got other offers out there before you encourage your clients to go ahead and, you know, sue and take legal action. It might just be easier to let the deal go, keep the earnest money, and go ahead and move to the next deal. On those lines, though, that's the great reason as to why you should always try to get as much earnest money put down as you can. In the event that you, God forbid, have to keep that earnest money and move on to the next deal. If you're on the seller side, that is.
I mean, the other thing too is that until this case is heard in court and there can be continuances, and yes, and so forth and so on, the buyer still has to have somewhere to live. So it's just, you know, a lot of times it gets these transactions get emotional, and you get clients saying, well, it's the principle of the thing, and it's an emotional reaction or decision rather than an actual case for specific performance. Now, of course, there are cases for specific performance, and I believe also, Shawn, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the, I don't know what the word is, remedies or judgments, or I don't know what it is the loser, the judge may require the loser to pay the winner's legal fees on top of everything. And that's also for an earnest money interpleader action.
Absolutely, especially if you can show bad faith on the other party's part, that they were not acting in good faith, that it was intentional, that they didn't, you know, it wasn't as simple that they didn't get approved for the loan. It was blatant that they chose to just default on the deal and, you know, walk away and then created problems in the process. So
well, that would be
courts
the
don't
seller.
always give attorneys fees, but you're absolutely right.
Not the buyer defaulting on the
exactly.
loan, because the seller default. That would be the seller wanting to throw out this contract in favor of another one. That would be not in good faith, I would imagine.
Right. No, you're right. You're right there. Absolutely. But having said all of that, you know, if you have questions that come up, can you hear me?
Yes. Sort of.
Can you hear me?
A little better.
You got me or no?
Yes.
Okay. Please reach out to yourself or an attorney. Make sure you get guidance on the matter, and we'll make sure we take care of you and your client. Did you get that? Okay.
Yes, we did.
Great. If there are any questions, please throw them out there. I'm happy to field them, or if you want to email me or call me later, you're welcome to do so.
Any questions for Shawn on anything? Brent, Kevin, Kim, Heidi, anything? Everybody's muted. You can unmute yourself.
John, in regard to us using your office, you know, when it was implemented, what, about a couple of years ago, as far as blocking up the office and only
Yes.
the transaction people coming in, are we going to run into that issue, having people come into your office? I know, you know, as far as computer usage and all that.
I'm sorry, Kim, you lost me. I don't follow your question. You're saying a few years ago, and then you said about people coming to my office. You broke up on me and I didn't get the whole thing.
Yeah, the security issue, as far as confidentiality and all that. Is that RESPA?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm there, but what specific concerns do you have? Because I would not be putting anybody in an office that would have, it would be a conference room, is what it would be.
Yeah.
So it would be an opportunity for you to meet with your client, is all it would be. So I'd be able to provide a room to you all if you need to meet with a client. If you need a computer access and things like that, that would be on your own. You need to bring your own laptop in or whatnot to take care of that. You're right. I couldn't have you guys going through my computer systems and working on my computers. But having said that, happy to provide you with a copier, phone, and conference room if that helps.
Okay, that provides clarity, because I just wanted to make sure we addressed that. So we're good.
Definitely. Well, again, guys, other than that, I'm excited about the new venture with the new mega office being built. If you guys need anything in the time ahead, of course, please reach out to me.
looking forward to seeing everybody at the September social and go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shawn. And Shahida is asking, what are the office rules for using meeting space at other maximum one locations, not Greater Atlanta? So first, let me address for using any meeting space at any Greater Atlanta office is the same thing as it is in Douglasville. You just need to get in touch with the branch manager and reserve the room. And Shawn has so graciously and generously offered his room also. If you guys want to use a maximum one office that is a franchise, not maximum one Greater Atlanta, you need to contact that office and make arrangements because they are not on a key fob system, and if they are, they're not on our key fob system. So access to that actual office would either have to be during business hours, or you would have to make arrangements with one of the other franchises. Regarding using their computers, right now the franchises all have an agreement. Now you still have to make arrangements for them to get you a code in their computers, but basically you're still going to be billed for making, not for scans, but for making copies. And so that will end up showing up on your agent bill. It shows up on the franchise bill, and the franchise bills us and we bill you. Did that answer your question, Shahida? I hope so. Thank you, Shawn, for always being exceptional. Absolutely, totally agree. Anything else? Heidi, Kim?
I have a question again. This is Bridget Taylor.
Hi, Bridget.
Good morning, everyone. I came in the middle of this, and Dana, I appreciate you responding. I'm just trying to get clarity on the Douglasville office and usage. So I understand that Davis is relocating or building an office closer to Paulding. So as far as the usage of the Douglasville office, I'm just trying to be clear. Will we still be able to access that office to a point, to a time frame? Or is it something different that's happened here as far as usage of the Douglasville office if you have a client?
Yeah, absolutely. You have 24/7 access to the Douglasville office with your key fob. Heidi will be there to assist anybody or meet anybody Monday through Friday, 9 till 2. And this is all through September 30th, through the end of September.
Okay, so thereafter, that's when we would make other arrangements or be able to use Shawn's office. Am I clear on that? Or?
Yeah, you'll make an appointment with Shawn for using his office as he is so graciously offered. Or the Paulding Maximum One office is going to be the temporary HQ for the mega office for Douglasville, West Cobb, and Paulding.
I understand. So I have to go, if I have a client in the evening or something and I need to meet them, I would go to after September 30th, I could use the Paulding office.
Absolutely. You've got your key fobs. You have 24/7 access to all the Greater Atlanta offices. So right now that's Douglasville, Paulding, West Cobb, Powers Ferry, and Woodstock. After September 30th, that will be Paulding, Powers Ferry, and Woodstock.
Okay, thank you very much for clarification. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to further clarify on my end, I unfortunately can only make my office available during office hours when we're open, but oftentimes I am here till 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. So if you ever have a need for meeting with the client later in the day, reach out to me. If I can make it happen or accommodate, I'll be happy to do so. Just let me know, if you could email me, that'd be the best way, and we'll get it put on our calendar and reserved for you.
Also, you guys, I just want to say, please read the Sunday email, this newsletter this week at Maximum One. I know there's a ton of information on there, but this is, again, the main vehicle through which we communicate with you guys. And information that's specific to Maximum One, like this announcement, as well as the contract tip videos, license law videos, the sales meetings that I get recorded, as well as market statistics, what's going on in the area, what's going on in our industry, what's going on in Metro Atlanta, lead generation tips and tricks, as well as all the contact information for all of our affiliates, and links to the GREC info database, and links to, there's just a ton of information in that newsletter. and that comes out every Sunday, except for like holidays and things like that.
And Dana, also, agents, I am sending out a newsletter on Mondays. So look for the Douglasville newsletter on Mondays.
Awesome. And just so you know, a little bit long term, I don't have a timing on anything. Well, I'll just keep that surprise because I don't have a timing. So I don't want to say something and then disappoint, because it could be even a year away. So, but we're just excited. We can't wait to see everybody for the blowout in September. And again, we will get a date on that. We will get with Heidi, Brent, Kim, Kevin, and Shawn, and we'll get with Linda Kennedy also. We'll get with everybody on that for a date for our big fun social blowout celebration party. With a combination of 3, Kim says, with a combination of 3 offices, how many agents will be on the roster as of now? I don't understand your question. I mean, it's just changing as far as, because you got, oh, let me make one more thing. Greg there's nothing in any license law that Greg has for marketing or advertising, and there is nothing in our maximum 1 policies that require an address on any of your marketing or advertise, obviously for a property, but any of your self-marketing, self-promotional advertising, including your business cards. You do not need to put an address on your business card. And you guys, I've seen y'all's contracts. Y'all are doing business not only in Douglasville, you are doing it in Paulding, you're doing it in Cobb, you're going out to Stone Mountain, you're doing stuff in Woodstock, you're doing stuff in downtown Atlanta. Agents in Metro Atlanta end up not necessarily specializing in one, or you guys are going out to Carrollton, you're going to Villa Rica, you're going down almost, you're going south of Atlanta, like near the airport, McDonough, so forth and so on. So there's nothing that requires an address. So don't put an address on your business cards. And it doesn't matter where you work. And again, the question that came up, not everybody was on here, was maximum 1 having a presence in the Douglasville area. The presence are the signs. The presence are what the public are seeing on Zillow and Trulia. The presence are what agents are seeing on YouTube and Facebook, and but more hard-hittedly the actual signs. So go get listings. Listings are selling right now. There are more buyers out there than sellers out there. Brent, Kevin, Kim, take us out. Brent, you got to start it off. Why don't you carry us out?
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming today and join us.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for participating. We love you guys. We want everyone there at the final blowout for the office location here in Douglasville. We're still a family, and we're going to carry that over into the big office. And once we get everything structured, we being, everybody that wants to be a part of this, like Dana and Dave, and they get all this put together. It's a big undertaking, and it's going to be phenomenal once it's put into place. It's just going to be growing pains. We're all going to have to kind of be patient and understand how we fit into the plan of action, that we can make it what it's meant to be.
Also, buyer's agents too. Once the COVID gets kind of settled around, hopefully more of the places like McDonald's and Starbucks will open their dining rooms more. Some of them are now. I know, like Arby's. So there will be places that you can take your clients to like that has internet access to meet buyers.
Yeah, and Shawn offering the space there at his office and Don DeFore's office, which is located right there, like going down to the Country Club for Chapel Hill. That's phenomenal. So we do have that access that is just right off of Chapel Hill.
And you brought up a good point as well, Kim. You could, once the country club reopens for lunches, it's a really nice venue to have clients out for lunch as well. If you want to meet with them in my office and take them to lunch at the country club, or even if you decide you want to go to the country club and meet there and discuss things over lunch, and then come to my office and sign paperwork at that point. So you have the country club, which is very convenient to have, you know, once lunch opens up back up there again.
Well, your offer just gets better and better, Shawn.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I didn't offer to pay for lunch. I'm just telling you that's there.
No, but the flexibility gets better.
Is the country club restaurant open to the public all the time, Shawn? I don't think it used to be when we used to go there.
No, it's open. You don't have to be a member to go there. It's open to the public. So it's a really nice club. It's really nice views and quick and decent food. So, but that being said, I don't think it is currently though.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, guys, well, have a super, super weekend. And if Brent, Kevin, or myself can answer any questions, we're always here for you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Shawn, Dana.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.